According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, approximately 65% of businesses fail in the first 10 years. So 6 to 7 out of 10 businesses fail to make it to their 10-year anniversary. Oh my goodness, I want to help these people. So in today's episodes, we are going to discuss the 5 biggest mistakes business owners make and how you can avoid them. I started my own wealth management business in 2001. And man, has it been a journey, a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of what I'm going to talk to you about today are mistakes that I made in the beginning, had to course correct, had to figure it out. I have learned what you need to get right in order for your business to thrive and survive over the long term. So in today's episodes, we are going to discuss the 5 biggest mistakes business owners make and how you can avoid them. Okay, so the number 1 mistake I see business owners make is they don't treat their business like a business. This is so common, especially in probably the first 5 years of business. I see business owners commingle funds and business dealings with your personal dealings. So when you get paid in business, you put it into your personal account. You pay business expenses out of your business account. You commingle your funds and your business dealings with your personal life. Your business is its own entity, and it must be fully independent of you. Now, it may be fully dependent on you right now, but the goal is that you create this entity separate from yourself. And it will go through a lot of changes, a lot of iterations, a lot of evolving. I like to say your business is a lot like a child. Like in the beginning, it's fully dependent on you. You have to take care of it. You have to do everything in your business as you start and birth this business. But as it grows up, it becomes more and more independent of you. And if you want to think of this as an asset that you sell one day, it must be fully independent of you, kind of like the goal of an adult child. Like you raise it up, you give them the values, you give it the systems, you give it everything that you want to give your child, and then it can operate fully, successfully thriving in the world. That's the way I think about my business. How do I raise it up? And then at some point, if I want to say goodbye to it, I can, but it's an asset. And the more that it doesn't depend on you as the business owner, the more it will be successful on its own. So your business needs to be treated like a business. It needs to be separate from your personal finances. It needs to have its own banking, its own planning, its own emergency fund, its own, if you choose to have debt, its own debt, not your personal debt to fund it, but its own debt. And I would encourage, even from the beginning, to think of it as a separate entity, a separate role. Take time to work on your business. So a lot of times we have 2 different roles as business owners. We are whatever the service or whatever the business is. So it could be you're a chiropractor. It could be that you're a plumber. It could be that you're a financial advisor. It could be that you are a builder. And you're probably really, really good at that. That's my guess why you started this business. Oh, I'm really good at this trade. I'm going to go do this, as opposed to working for somebody else. But when you put on that business owner hat and say, I'm going to start my own business, you now have 2 jobs. You have to run the business and you have to do what you're really good at. And so, in being a good business owner takes time to develop. It takes time to grow those skill sets, but it is a separate role. And I think it's really important you acknowledge all the different roles that you play in your business. How much energy goes to marketing, to your trade, whatever that superpower is of yours, whatever that skill set is, whatever the business is, how you make money takes time. And then operating the business takes time. Do you do the financials? That takes time. I mean, there's so much. Business owners wear so many hats. And it's really important that you include time in your calendar for all those things, not just the thing that makes you money. The number 2 mistake I see business owners make is they don't pay themselves. Oh, this just makes me so sad for people. because you didn't start your business to go broke. You didn't start your business to pay everyone else and not you. Now, if there's a little season, like the pandemic, you had to forego paying yourself to keep your employees on, like I get that. But what I see the mistake is they don't pay themselves in the beginning and set up a success for their longevity in their business. And when they pay themselves, they also need to think about, how do you pay your future self? How do you set yourself up for retirement? All the things an employer would do for you. But business owners don't do that for themselves. So here's the deal. When you start in business, you need to have goals for your income. And I like to think about business owners, they really have two incomes. They have their income for them doing their job in the business. So if you are, I'm just going to use a plumber. If you're a plumber and you go out and do plumbing work, you make a wage for being a plumber. You make a salary for being a plumber. Because if you weren't there, you would have to go hire another plumber. So you should be paying yourself the same amount you would have to go hire someone with your expertise, with your skill set, with your experience, all of that, and pay yourself that wage as the professional. That's one income. And then as your business becomes more successful, this is the income that's variable, is the profits of the company. In the beginning, yes, you'll be probably reinvesting into the business. You'll be hiring, you'll be growing, you'll be marketing. You should be able to still take a wage as a professional, but then at some point, your business is going to mature to where you can take profits. And I encourage business owners to take profits, because that is how you build wealth, how you use your business to build wealth outside of your business. So each quarter, I'm a fan of quarterly profits. Each quarter, you take your profits from the company and you put it aside for your personal wealth building strategy. You take it out of your business and you put it over here in a different bucket. Then your business is generating that profit for you ongoing. You don't keep it all in the business. Okay. I see so many business owners not take the profits. They pay the expenses, they pay payroll, they pay rents, they do all these things, and they keep the money in the business, and they don't pay themselves as the business owner. You took the risk to start this business. You have to put yourself in the priority bucket. So business owners, I feel, get two different types of income. Okay. They get the income for being a professional, and then they get the income for being the business owner. Don't commingle those. Okay. They're separate. Number 3, trying to do it all yourself. Now, this is common because, of course, it's based on money. It's based on income. So do you have enough money to hire? There's this delicate balance as business owners to know when is it time to hire. But when I think that we feel like, oh, I really need somebody's help, I really need to hire someone, is usually too late. If you think you need to hire someone, you probably should have hired them 3 months ago. But as business owners, as we build our business, we do everything ourselves. And I think it can be the very thing that holds you back from success in the later years of a maturing business. So it will also lead to burnout and exhaustion and you basically owning a job. And I think as business owners, we didn't start out as business owners to own a job. We started out business owners with a dream. And when you're trying to do it all and hold on everything so tightly, it doesn't allow room for others to help, to come in, to grow. And that is the secret. When I look back over my career, I had to get out of my own way because I was trying to do it all. There's a really powerful personal experience that I went through that really taught me this lesson. So goodness, this was probably 11 years ago, and my oldest daughter was traveling with my parents in a car, and they were hit head on by a drunk driver. At the same time, I was on a boat entertaining 40 clients, and I didn't have my phone with me. And so, thinking back to that night, I was like, oh man, my business is going great. I'm entertaining my clients. I have success. I'm just feeling important. I made it. I did it. As that night came to a close, I got off the boat. I got my purse. I looked at my phone and I saw missed phone calls, these text messages, and I learned about the accident. And at that point, my daughter was being life flighted to a hospital. Obviously at that point, nothing else matters except getting there. So my assistant took me to the hospital. I got there when the helicopter landed, and I was there with my daughter in ICU for a week. I didn't leave her bedside, but I also made my assistant bring me my computer. I was checking emails. I was returning phone calls. I was doing all the things that I thought I had to do to keep the business running, to keep the customers happy, to do all of that. And I had at the time, I think 2 or 3 employees that were very capable of doing everything. In fact, I remember them telling me, Julia, we got this. Just be with your daughter. You don't need to do any of this. But I thought I had to do that to keep it going. So it was my mindset that was messed up at that point. And yes, I was physically there with my daughter. I was there with her, but I was also trying to juggle all these things at the same time because I had made my relevance in my business so important. And what I learned in the months and years to come, that I actually had to fire myself. I had to get out of my own way for other people to be able to come in and help me. My daughter made a full recovery. So thankful to God for that. Everyone was okay. But that summer, I wanted to go home and I wanted to be with her. I wanted to help her recover. I didn't want to have to go back to the office. At that point, I was probably running 30 appointments a week. And I just said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be with my daughter. And guess what? The business went on to thrive. The business not only succeeded, but was wildly more successful because I learned how to receive. I learned how to give up control. I learned how to allow others to come in and help. Everything was still happening, and it wasn't all based on my work. As horrible as that experience and accident was, the lesson I learned was you have to let go of control. You have to receive, because in receiving, you're allowing others to give. And that is the power of growth. That is the power of exponential results, where 1 + 1 is not 2, 1 + 1 is 10. And so I would just encourage you, if you feel like you're a bottleneck in your business, if you feel like you're trying to do it all, stop, take a time out. I think it's also important to understand how to actually delegate, because when we delegate, there's 2 ways to delegate. You can delegate tasks. You can just tell someone what to do. But guess what? That means they're just going to keep coming back to you and keep asking you what they need to do. That is not an employee you want. You want an employee that you can delegate full end results to. Number 4, knowing. Okay, the number 4 mistake I see business owners make is not knowing what kind of business you want to build. What kind of business do you want to build? Are you self-employed, which just means that you own your job, you're in charge of it, and that probably means that you're going to be working quite a bit? Or do you want to build a business? Best definition of a business is if you walked away from your business for a year and you came back a year later, would your business still be running? Would there be income? Would it still be growing? Can it operate outside of you? That was the dream that I had. I wanted to build a business that was not dependent on me. I made that realization around the time of the accident. Like, oh my gosh, I got to get out from under this. I was burned out. So how did I then go on a journey to a self-managing business, a business that can operate without me? That's what I have now. I'd like to be in it. I like to serve my clients. I like to do the work, but it's because I'm excited about it, not because my business needs me. So what do you want? What kind of business do you want to grow? And you may not know the exact answer, but I think it's important to constantly be asking yourself that question. What's the next stage for my business? What clarity do you have about what you're doing? And you will naturally evolve, and your role will change as your business evolves and changes, as you want different things. Here's the beauty about owning a business. There's no right or wrong way to build a business. So you get to decide as the business owner, what do you want it to look like? What's your role? And here's the cool thing, you can change it, you can evolve it over time. As my business has grown, we now have 20 employees. Like I am the CEO and founder. I lead the firm. Where in the beginning days, I was a financial advisor with 1 or 2 employees. So a lot of my time back then was devoted to just helping clients. Now, yes, I still help clients, but I have this whole other role that I love actually, that challenges me, that inspires me, that excites me. And so for me, I want to lean into that and evolve that because I know that I am the cap to my business. I know if my business is going to grow, then I must continue to grow. And that actually is a really fun challenge to me and excites me. It's an ever evolving thing. And as the business owner, you are in charge. And number 5, not celebrating your success along the journey. I had to learn this the hard way. And I say that because, early on, I was out to prove myself, prove it to myself that I was worthy of building this business, prove other people wrong. I mean, I started my business when I was 23 years old. And in the money business, in a male-dominated field, I had to prove that I could make it. And the only way at the time that I knew how to prove that I could make it, now this was happening subconsciously. I did not know this, but I can connect the dots looking back. I could work hard because I had a lot of energy and I loved what I do and I was motivated to be successful. And so I simply outworked my peers to catch up with them. And then I would find someone else that was doing it a little bit better than me. And then I'd like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do this. And I would keep getting more successful. But I never stopped to appreciate the success along the way. It was almost like this addiction to doing. Hi, I'm a recovering work addict. I wanted to be successful. I wanted it to work. But what I realized is I could have learned about delegation a lot sooner. I could have learned about receiving a lot sooner. I think pausing and celebrating the success is so crucial when you're building your business. Because being a business owner, you can feel alone. You can feel like, oh, no one's going to understand if I'm celebrating here. Or maybe even asking for someone else to celebrate your success with you. That may be a hard ask. But if I could go back in time, I would be like, oh, Julia, that was a big thing right there. Celebrate that. Oh, just take some time and let it sink in, all the things that you're accomplishing here. That was really good. I was always on to my next and not really taking time to be in the moment of celebration. So I don't like to say I have a lot of regrets, but I would say learning how to celebrate your successes along the journey, make it more worthwhile. And I do that now. And it actually brings in gratitude for where you're at. And in gratitude is where you manifest more amazing things because you're stopping and you're celebrating. You're stopping and you're seeing. And the people around you see and they're celebrated because it's not a solo journey for me anymore. It's a whole team effort. Like we are successful in my company because of everyone's contribution, not just mine. And so I think it's just there's sweetness in that. And I wish other business owners could feel the magic of celebration and gratitude and not just think, blinders on and thinking forward. And here's your bonus secret that I see kind of mid-level businesses making is not structuring their business, having no structure in their business. The bigger the business, the more structure you need, especially for you as the business owner, because in structure, you will find freedom. So if you're feeling chaotic, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, my business owns me, time out, you need structure. A great system for this is EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. It's a book by Gino Wickman. I highly recommend it. Once you have 6, 10, for sure 10 employees, you need to start thinking about What's my operating system for this business? And EOS has a fantastic operating system for business owners. So that's a system we run in my business. I'd highly recommend that. Okay, we talked about a lot today. As you can tell, I get fired up helping business owners. I love working with business owner clients because it's like working with me. And I have overcome so much, and I know you as business owners can too. So as we close out today, what's the toughest challenge you've had to overcome as a business owner? Or as you think about these mistakes, what's one that you want to lean into and work on? I'd love to know. Please reach out to me. I would be honored to encourage and support you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please give it a like and subscribe to Financially Free with Julia Carlson. I will see you in the next episode soon.